So, HBO just dropped the very first trailer for its new Harry Potter series, and you know the fan analysis is already coming in hot. And honestly, there's a lot to unpack here. So let's just dive right into this brand new vision of the wizarding world.
And this reaction from one fan really says it all, doesn't it? It kind of sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. If you were expecting just a simple rehash of the movies, well, this trailer makes it very clear that's not what we're getting. This is something new, a really surprising take on a story we all thought we knew inside and out. You know, the biggest difference just hits you immediately, and that's the tone. What everyone's pointing out is that this is not the whimsical, magical introduction that we all remember. Nope. It feels more mature, more grounded, and yeah, surprisingly dark right from the very first frame.
Okay, so this is the crucial part. It's all about a shift in the audience. The original movies, they kind of grew up with us, right? They started out all light and full of wonder and then got progressively darker. This series, though, it feels like it's starting with the assumption that its audience is already grown up. The music, the lighting, the whole atmosphere. There's this constant tension that feels aimed squarely at the fans who first picked up those books 20 years ago.
And this darker tone, it isn't just some general vibe in the air. It's established right away by showing us a way more detailed, and honestly, a much more brutal look at Harry's early life with the Dursleys. And that's a part of the story the original films kind of glossed over.
And here he is, our new Harry. He looks so close to the book description, slight, pale, with his perfect mix of looking both vulnerable and a little bit scrappy. He feels familiar, but he's definitely not just a carbon copy of Daniel Radcliffe. The analyst did point out one little detail though, a classic fan observation. Just like in the movies, the lightning bolt scar is off to the side, not right in the center of his forehead like the book says. A tiny detail, but you know fans are going to notice.
We are also getting scenes that we've only ever read about before, like Harry actually being chased and bullied at his Muggle school. This is a huge deal, you guys. It shows just how miserable his life really was before he got that letter, which is going to make his escape into the magical world feel even more powerful.
And this seems to be setting up that iconic, totally book-accurate moment of accidental magic. You know, the one where Harry somehow teleports onto the school roof to get away from Dudley's gang. It's such a clear signal that they're committed to including those smaller, character-defining moments from the books.
Now let's talk about Aunt Petunia, because this is another massive difference. In the films, she was mostly just petty and annoyed. Here, she feels genuinely hostile. I mean, there's a scene where she's hacking away at his hair, telling him he's not special, and she even points the scissors right at him. And, big detail here, she's blonde, finally matching her book description. This isn't just a mean auntie. This is an actively cruel guardian, and it makes Harry's home life feel completely, utterly miserable.
All right, let's get into the new cast. This is where so much of the buzz is right now, because, let's be real, these actors are stepping into some truly iconic shoes. So here are the first impressions.
First up, we've got Nick Frost as Hagrid. The general thinking is that he has that essential warmth and demeanor down perfectly. His voice, though, might take a little getting used to. It's a bit lighter. It doesn't quite have that deep, booming quality that made Robbie Coltrane's performance so memorable. It's not a bad thing, not at all, just different. And here is our new Ron Weasley, played by Alastair Stout. The analyst spotted a fantastic little detail here. In one shot, Ron has a smudge of dirt on his nose, which is a direct shout-out to how he's introduced in the very first book. It's such a small touch, but it shows a real deep respect for the little things in the source material.
And playing his mom, Molly, we have Catherine Parkinson. Oh man, the analyst was so excited about this, basically calling her a huge talent who is going to absolutely crush it as the Weasley matriarch. This is just seen as a fantastic bit of casting all around.
So, our new Professor McGonagall is Janet McTeer, and yeah, she definitely has that stern presence you'd expect. But there's a different kind of intensity there, right from the get-go. It doesn't feel like she's trying to imitate Maggie Smith at all. It already feels like her own unique and very formidable take on the character.
Anton Lesser as the wand maker, Ollivander, seems to be leaning way more into the character's unsettling nature from the books. He's got this quiet, almost eerie awareness about him, like he knows way more than he's letting on. It's definitely a change from John Hurt's version, but it feels incredibly faithful to the original text.
Of course, all these new faces, all this talk, it all leads to one of the biggest casting questions of all. What about the new potions master, Severus Snape?
So the trailer shows us a Snape who is black with dreadlocks, which is obviously a clear departure from the book's description. The analyst noted this right away, but really emphasized that the show still looks incredibly strong overall, and that what truly matters is the performance, which they're really eager to see.
And finally, we have the great John Lithgow as Albus Dumbledore. And visually, you have to admit he looks strikingly similar to the original Dumbledore actor Richard Harris. He just projects this calm, composed presence, which is exactly what you want from the headmaster of Hogwarts in these early years.
Okay, now for the school itself, Hogwarts. The feeling that the analyst described when seeing the new castle was that it's somehow both exactly what you remember and something totally new at the same time.
The word they kept using was uncanny, and not in a bad way. It's that weird feeling you get when something echoes what you already know. You know, the layouts, the colors, but it is clearly its own thing. It's a reimagining, not just a recreation.
And what really stands out is just how cinematic it all is. Hogwarts feels bigger, it feels more grand and immersive. The analysis points to the absolutely incredible attention to detail in every single shot. From the deliberate lighting in a classroom to how a shot is framed, there's a sense of scale here that, honestly, feels even larger than what we saw in the original films.
So, after breaking down the tone, the new characters, and the new Hogwarts, what's the final verdict? What's the big takeaway from this first look?
And this is really the core message for all the longtime fans out there. This series, it doesn't erase or replace the classic films. Those will always be there for us. This is simply a new interpretation, another way to experience the story we love. And it's aimed at a whole new generation, and at us older fans too.
And get this, we won't have to wait nearly as long as we thought. The release is set for 2026, which is a full year earlier than a lot of people were expecting. It also continues that great tradition of winter releases for Harry Potter. You know, leaning right into that cozy, nostalgic, magical feeling of the holiday season. So ultimately, this trailer leaves us with one huge question. It's darker, it's more detailed, and it looks absolutely stunning. But with such a beloved legacy, can this really ambitious new series truly recapture that old magic and introduce it to a whole new generation? I guess we'll have to wait until 2026 to find out.